We need to take our power back and speak about Uncle Tom and his legacy and what he did, as opposed to using this term to outcast and exile people. Which, don't get me wrong, when we call people Uncle Toms, we know what we're saying, but we need to use a different term because the original Uncle Tom did a lot to liberate us. And while some people may call it boring, it's because all they want to see is Black people fighting drama. And we need to be about more than that. We need to prioritize and get ourselves to realize, I want to sit down and I want to learn and I want to listen to some of the things about us that are positive so that I can regurgitate these things. Hair salon and barbershop talk shouldn't all be gossip. Let's talk about our history in these places. I get it. It sounds corny to some people, but people want to see the change and they're tired of the drama, but they don't want to do anything to contribute to the positive aspect of the typical conversations that Black people have on a day-to-day basis.
Now let's spend a little bit of time with our ancestors, or at least listening to them, because you know they always tell us you don't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. So let's get into a little bit of Black history with this Black History Moment.
You in that crowd.
They got me in the system. Why they gotta do me like that?
I know I can be what I wanna be what I wanna be.
We've got love for y'all, which I don't cover.
About the feeling.
Get down.
Let's go ahead and get right into it. Most people have heard of or used the term Uncle Tom when we refer to a sellout, a quote unquote sellout. But did you know that the reference is actually totally wrong? The real Uncle Tom was a hero. His name was Josiah Henson, and he was an abolitionist who helped free slaves. He helped slaves escape, among other great things. So Uncle Tom was a man who refused to beat Black women. He refused to tell on other slaves. He would put cotton in other slaves' bags at night so that they wouldn't get beat. He helped 100 slaves get free long before the Underground Railroad ever even became a thing. Josiah Henson was born into slavery in 1789 in Charles County, Maryland. Whoop, whoop. Shout out to us. But growing up, he watched his father receive beatings for standing up to his slave owner and also witnessed his father's ear being severed as a part of the punishment, and also his father being sold off. Upon the death of his owner, Henson, who also separated from his family in an estate sale, he remained on his new owner's farm in Montgomery County, Maryland. Wow, not too far from me at all. Definitely right here around about Baltimore. Until he was an adult. As he aged, he rose to become a trusted enslaved and supervised other enslaved people on the farm. However, he used his new position to make his escape from slavery. Now, following the Underground Railroad, Henson escaped from Maryland to the province of Upper Canada, Ontario, in Canada with his wife and 4 children by way of the Nigeria River in 1830. Now, Henson worked on farms in his first years in Canada to support his family, and in 1834, he founded a Black settlement on rented land. Now, he purchased 200 acres of land in Kent County and founded a settlement and laborers' school for the fugitive slaves. Now, he later became a preacher and a conductor on the Underground Railroad between Tennessee and Ontario, helping the enslaved escape from slavery. He also served as a military officer in the British Army in Canada. So stop calling these sellouts Uncle Tom. That's a compliment. It's Sambo that was the sellout, who would do anything for his slave master's approval. Uncle Tom is a man to be respected, not associated with the Sambo dog. And so I bet you didn't know that. These are things that a lot of people don't know. And so when we talk about the etymology of a term, etymology is really a term or a word over time, and how the definition, the meaning, or the usage of it has changed over time. The etymology has changed over time, but it's time that we reclaim ownership of that phrase, Uncle Tom. We need to let people know, stop y'all referring to people as Uncle Toms who are sellouts. It's not a little bogus, it's very bogus. Revisionist history is a thing. So we need to take our power back and speak about Uncle Tom and his legacy and what he did, as opposed to using this term to outcast and exile people. Which, don't get me wrong, when we call people Uncle Toms, we know what we're saying, but we need to use a different term, because the original Uncle Tom did a lot to liberate us. And so when we talk about the etymology of this term, it's been turned upside down to make us frown upon the original Uncle Tom, who stood against everything that the term in 2023 stands for. It's important for us to understand our history. And that's what these Black History moments are all about here on my show. Stop calling sellouts Uncle Toms, because the real Uncle Tom stood for the opposite of everything that term implies. It's really important that we understand where these terms came from and who decided that they wanted to turn around and demonize his name and the term. I really doubt it would be any Black person. It sounds like white supremacist work to me. Those are just my thoughts. But that's how the word and the term has evolved negatively over time, and it speaks against the true history of what Uncle Tom was about. If you didn't know, now you know.
thePLAINESTjane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some Black, and she said loves me some Black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
On your wrist, a plain Jane.
But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.